Yo guys, what is up? It is your boy Just Slip here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new around here. Um, my name is Just Slip, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the first time I ever got high. Now, the first time I got high wasn't off of weed, surprisingly. I know a lot of people, the first time they get high is usually on weed, and I honestly thought that the first time I was going to get high was going to be on weed, but ended up taking dabs, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now.
Could I forget? I can't even remember. Got another package, man, I wonder who's the sender. 27 Club, got another fucking member. NBA Jam, I'm on fire from an ember.
Alright, so this story right here takes place when I was around 14 or 15 years old. Definitely too young to be doing something like this, but at the time my brother was having a graduation party, and there was a whole bunch of people over at the party. I wasn't into drinking at the time like that. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, but honestly, I probably wasn't even inhaling them like that. Though I remember before this party started, I was like, I'm not going to get drunk. I'm not even going to drink like that because I want to be the one that sits around and laughs at everybody else when they're all sick and shit, because I know how it goes. I know how these type of parties are. I've seen it happen. I've been there myself. It's not a fun time. So yeah, people ended up getting drunk, people were getting sick, and the party started thinning out. So it was around 12:30 at the time, and I was just chilling outside. You know, a lot of the people were already gone, but the rest of the people that were there were the ones that were just going to spend the night. Everybody just planned on spending the night because they weren't going to drive or anything like that. Now, a good portion of people that actually showed up to this party, not even my brother knew. It was just a lot of people that knew people. And he was just like, hey, invite your friends or whatever. Whoever comes, comes. And it was just one of them parties like that. So there was a lot of people that not even my brother knew at this party. So there was a group of people out there, and they were all chilling by the fire because it was kind of a colder night. And they were just chilling by the fire, and they're all hitting something. I see a glass pipe, and it's about 4 inches long, and they got a big-ass torch, and they're hitting it out of a little glass bowl. Now, I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. I didn't know if they were hitting crack, meth, weed, whatever. I didn't know what it was. So I walk over to them, and I got a cigarette in my mouth. You know, I'm trying to look cool and stuff. I'm like, hey, what are y'all hitting? And they're like, oh, this is dabs right here. And I'm like, what's that? And they're like, you don't know what dabs are, bro? And I was like, nah. So this was probably around 2017 or 2018 when this happened. I'm not sure how big dabs were on the market because I'm sure a lot of this stuff wasn't talked about as much because it wasn't legal in a lot of states. And I'm pretty sure around the time, or at least around here, there was nobody that could get their hands on carts. A lot of people didn't even know what carts were, including myself. But vapes weren't even really big back then. Nothing like that. So the guy explains to me that smoking like one little hit of this stuff right here is going to be like smoking 20 joints. It's going to get you super high, super fucked up. And keep in mind, I had never been high in my life. I'd only ever thought about it, didn't know what to expect or anything. So I'm like, oh, okay. So is this stuff safe? Is it addictive? And they're all laughing. They're like, yeah, it's just like weed. It's not addictive. I'm like, okay. So I asked my brother, I'm like, yo, these guys say this shit isn't addictive. Should I hit it? Is this going to be okay? He's like, yeah, you'll probably be fine. That was a fucking lie. He shouldn't have told me that. This shit had me fucked up. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But once he told me that, I was like, okay. So I went back to the guys, and I was like, okay, bro, pack me a hit or whatever. Do what you got to do. I'll hit it. So this guy says, you said you never smoked before, right? And I was like, yeah, I've never smoked weed or anything like that. And he looks over at his friend and he smirks. Now, at the time, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know any better. But he packs me a dab about the size of my pinky nail. I'm just sitting there with that fat ass dab sitting in the glass piece, and he's telling me, okay, I'm heating it up. And he turns on the torch, and he's telling me, as soon as this thing gets glowing red, you're going to stick your lips up to the pipe, and you're going to stick the end of the pipe down into the bowl, and you're going to suck as hard as you can. Don't waste any of it because this stuff is expensive. I'm like, okay. So it gets to glowing red, and I stick it down to the dab, and once I do, my hand is shaking all over the place. They're all laughing. I take the fattest hit I possibly can. I inhale as much as I can. This is as much as I can hold in my lungs, and they're telling me to keep hitting it. So I keep hitting it as hard as I can, and I cough. When I take my lips off of it, I cough as hard as I can, and I bet you I coughed for 5 to 10 minutes straight, almost threw up, and it was just terrible. But I remember right after I stopped coughing, I just got really quiet, and I was staring at the car, and they asked me, they were like, "Yo, you good?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Yo, it looks like that car is smiling at me." And I just busted out laughing, and everybody else busted out laughing, and we're all just there laughing like crazy. And past that, I don't remember a whole lot from that night. I remember going inside, and I looked in my eyes in the mirror. And when I looked into the mirror, my eyes were so freaking red, like unbelievably red. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, damn, I feel like my eyes are gonna bust out of my head. I didn't know what to think, didn't know what to expect. I was scared, and I would remember walking up to my brother. I walked up to him about 20 times that night and asked him, "Why'd you let them peer pressure me?" I said it just like that. I was like, "Why'd you let them peer pressure me?" Like, I was fucked all the way up. And, yeah, I just kind of wrote it out. It was a fun high. I was high as a fucking kite. I was sitting there laughing my ass off about every little thing. And I felt like I was having a little bit of OCD, not going to lie. But at the end of the night, everybody was going to sleep. And I remember sitting there in the chair. Get this. This movie was on the title screen. We never even pressed play on the movie, but I sat there for 3.5 hours looking at the title screen, feeling like I was watching the movie. I mean, it was showing little clips from the movie in the background, but still, man. 3.5 hours looking at a TV screen, watching a movie that's not even playing. Them dabs were strong as shit. Honestly, though, I think every bit of that nervousness and the peer pressure and worrying about, like, being too high and all of that, I feel like that all came from me getting nervous about my parents finding out that I was high or whatever, because I didn't know what they were going to say about it at the time. Stay tuned for that video, though. That's going to be a good video as well. I'm going to be telling the story about the time I got caught and what I went through and all of that. Around the morning time, I think it was around 5 or 6 in the morning, ended up walking back home, went to sleep, woke up the next day, and kept living life. So yeah, there you have it. Story of the first time I ever got high. Yeah, I can say I enjoyed that story. Nothing bad happened. Honestly, probably one of the highest moments I've ever been in my life. I don't think I've been higher than that since, off of dabs or weed. One time off of a strain called Sunday Frost. If you ever have a chance to try that strain, please try it. Do yourself that favor. It's fucking amazing. But obviously don't do what I did. If you don't know what something is, definitely don't do it. That was dumb on my end. It could have been anything. To this day, it could have been anything. I still don't know. I never knew them people. Don't get yourself in a situation like that. If you don't know the people or you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Please don't. Peer pressure is fucking real. I definitely did get peer pressured in that situation. It was alright in this situation. Don't be smoking underage neither. That shit's not cool. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on this video. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing. We got more videos like this coming out soon. And with that being said, I think that's pretty much everything. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's been Just Slip, and I'm out. Peace.